Oh, Jesus. Not good. This is definitely rugged. Holy shit. Get out of here. We're on to day 9. Same old routine this morning. It's going to be hot coffee and oatmeal. They're calling for rain pretty much nonstop from 2 p.m. into the morning. So, gonna try and get out early today. So just heading over to the northwest channel where I'm going to attempt to get into some of these brookie lakes. Hopefully I can get my canoe through there because these trails are definitely not groomed for canoes if yesterday's lake was any indication. Not a long portage, about 200 meters. I didn't even get in the water yet, and it already started to rain. So I think I'll just start with a troll around the lake. I have no idea how deep it is. Doesn't look very deep right here. Some people say they have better luck fishing in the rain. I definitely don't find that. Well, I finally got something. We call this one the green bass. Looks like a fish, doesn't it? I've tried almost everything. Trolled the entire lake, casted, tried leeches, tried bait fish. Went big, went small. As my dad would say, ain't no fish in here. Well, right about now, I wish I would have packed up camp and moved on to a new lake. I think I left at the right time. And this decline at the end is a little bit treacherous. Now that everything's soaked. Yeah, this spot's tricky. Alright, we lived. Well, only about 40 minutes of this. I guess I asked for it. I said it was gonna start raining at 2 and not stop. Well, the tarp stayed up. See about the hammock. Should be dry underneath. Yeah, it looks fine. I'm gonna get dry and hang out under the tarp for a while. This is the inside of my rain jacket. So I'm not sure if that's soaked through. Hopefully that's a user error. I'm gonna let that dry out, but it would really suck if my rain jacket did not keep me dry. This big rock that I hung my tarp over worked out pretty nicely for a table. It's not often you get like a chest-high table under your tarp. Well, you can't ask for every day to be perfect. Well, the rain let up here a little bit so I can actually talk. I checked my pot, which was sitting on the fire pit. We were supposed to get 13 mils of rain today, and there was already like 1.5 inches, 2 inches of water in that pot. It's just been coming down. I need to decide what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm definitely not staying here. So the rest of my trip was supposed to be through White Bear Lake. One of the portages for sure, the one out of White Bear Lake, is really, really rocky. Just some rock gardens, and it's kind of a maze a little bit on the side of White Bear Lake, essentially. Given how much rain we've had over the last couple of days, especially today, and it's supposed to rain until the morning, I'm second guessing whether I want to go through there. So, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. Okay, it got real bad here real fast. Thank God I tied my canoe down. We're getting a bad storm. We were not supposed to have this kind of wind. This tarp is taking a beating. It's holding so far, but I need to lower it. Well, I found another use for a tripod. All I can do is wait this out, and it's going to be dark soon. Not a nice looking cloud at all. It's coming this way. Well, it's lit up for a second again. They definitely weren't forecasting anything like this at all. And if they were, I definitely would not be camping on an island like this. I'd be on the mainland where I could take better shelter in the trees. There's not a lot of trees on this island either, so not the greatest place to be. It's a little after 9. This is the driest place to be, so I did manage to get down dinner as well and lock all my gear down essentially for the night. Survived that storm last night. It did get pretty bad for a little while, and it was looking pretty threatening. It was a good thing I got back when I did, because it started not long after I got back to camp, and I definitely would have been stranded. Gonna get a nice warm cup of coffee and start the tear down of camp. All the wet stuff, this will go in this dry bag, and I'll stuff that in my main pack. pretty much have camp packed up. It's getting pretty late. Took me a while. And I just got a new weather forecast. High at 24 today, 23 tomorrow, 24 Wednesday. So outside of the winds look not great, but no rain. And I'm sort of second guessing going through White Bear. I might do that now. I'm going to make a decision when I get near the portages. And I've only got one more GoPro battery after this, and I don't really have a way to charge. So I'm going to stop talking, conserve a bit more battery, and time to get going. It looks like I'm actually going to have a tailwind for the first time on this trip. And it's funny how that happens after some of the worst days. You'll be out here and you will have what seems like the worst day, and it can't get any worse. You know, you want to go home, and then the next day everything changes and you forget all about it. And that's what today is. That is a mound of a beaver lodge. It's like a 3-story. Just at the portage. It's about 850 meters, I think, in and around that range. So here we go. It's 2:30. Let's see what time I get to the other side. Looks like that beaver's been to work. This poor tree. I just wasted 40 minutes bushwhacking. Like, I got it at completely the wrong spot. That was a beaver trail. Anyway, long story short, I found the trail. It was a bit west of where I was, and I wasted 40 minutes. This looks like a trail. Let's try this again. There's a lot of that on this trail. The portage skirts this little lake, or pond I guess you could call it. And there's a whole bunch of rock outcroppings that you're portaging over along it as well. Okay, there's one carry. White Bear Lake. Now it's time to go back for the canoe. I'm on White Bear and made pretty good time on that portage. So I'm just heading to the northeast corner of the lake. I'm gonna camp on White Bear tonight, and I won't have time to scout the portage for tomorrow, but hopefully it's in pretty good shape. So I'll see you guys in a bit when I'm out of this headwind and closer to camp. This is cool. There's about a foot of water here, and I'm just out in the middle of the lake. And then it drops off to deeper water on all sides, so pretty good spot to fish, I would say. There's a portage marker right in there. So that would be the start of the portage to Little White Bear. And this kind of opening up here, this is usable as a campsite. I thought that was the start of the portage. There's some old wood, looked like maybe an old dock or something. Yeah, this campsite definitely gonna work. The only issue it really has is there's no direct water access. This is a great little pebble beach, which is pretty close to the portage to put the canoe. I gotta carry my gear up all these loose rocks here. Just wide open. Nice pine trees, all pine here. And there's a couple of real nice trees in there to hang a hammock from. Perfect hammock spot. Got a real big problem right now. There must have been like something really sharp on the ground. I put my air mattress down for a second. Probably shouldn't have done that. Check this out. It's a rip about 1.5 inches long. See my fingers right through it. And you can't sleep in the muck without an air mattress. There's just no support. What a beautiful night. I sure would like to be out there enjoying the water, fishing. But instead, I'm trying to patch a hole so I can actually sleep tonight. And it's a real mess, as you can see. Just gobs of it on there. You can see there's some air bubbles forming. As it dried, the hole just started opening and then the glue was bubbling, and I had to put way too much to try and seal that large hole. As you can see, I didn't get the edges down at all. Barely got any underneath it. It was not even close to enough glue for such a large hole. Since the fire pit's out of commission, this is my fire for tonight. Get some coals going, gonna heat up some water on there. And I think what I'm gonna do is duct tape over the patch, since the patch didn't work out that well. And if it can get me through 1 or 2 nights, that's all I need. Got some mandarin beef and rice. It smells so good. I've had this before, it's actually quite good. And I've got some cedar tea going. Felt like a hot drink tonight. It's such a clear, calm night after yesterday's storm. Well, call it overkill. There's a patch under there and I didn't trust it, so multiple layers of duct tape. So far it's holding. I did lie on it and it was good for the like 30 seconds I lied on it, and now it's been sitting here for a good 45 minutes. Good dinner, good tea. The air mattress appears to be fixed, so all is good in the world. I'm gonna head to bed. Good night. Well, another good morning. My patch job held. I was able to get a good sleep. I originally checked the inReach yesterday afternoon or yesterday morning, and it said no rain for like 4 days. Not looking so hot today. I checked the inReach again, and now they're calling for rain potentially today, tomorrow, or the next day. They just can't make up their minds. It almost was feeling like rain, but I think it's just the mist and the fog. Really heavy though. I had to put my rain jacket on. Everything got soaked, so I don't even need to get my feet wet this morning because the portage is literally right next to my campsite. I just walk over those rocks and over to the Pebble Beach and start my portage. I got a couple batteries charged, so that's good news. I got one partially charged actually with my solar lantern. I'm completely out of charges on my battery banks. My phone's close to 100%, so I should be good. I'm only in here for at most 2 more days. Goodbye, White Bear Lake. We didn't really get to know each other that well, but I'll miss you anyway. It started out as expected. Absolute boulder garden. Like an old dried up creek bed. Everything's completely wet, so it's gonna take me a long time, let's put it that way. A boulder field with a bunch of downed trees and no indication of which way the path goes. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a piece of flagging tape here where I came from at the entrance to this, and then put all my gear down, scout ahead, and just flag at least the entrance from this boulder field. And I'll just keep doing that and take my time, make my double carrying easier. Otherwise I'm just going to end up bushwhacking, and I don't want to do that with all this crap. So this is my coffee cup. Must have got caught in something and ripped the actual cup out. So I'm going to backtrack because I can't be without a coffee cup. Now that it's raining, these are getting even slipperier. And lots of big crevices in these boulders. Came out to a little creek, or I guess it's a pond. I don't know if you can tell, but it continues faintly forward. But then it also juts across this way. This is even a better worn path. It goes that way. Do I turn left here? Do I try to go straight? It seems to taper out going straight. But then why does it come from that way? I have absolutely no idea. So I think maybe now it's time to drop my gear again and scout it out. Yeah, okay, I see what's going on. This is why this area is so confusing. These are game trails, so probably like moose, beaver, maybe even bear. And yeah, their trails are much easier to follow than human trails. Very confusing. Logic would tell you though that if I came from that way, I keep going straight. So even though there really is no trail here, I'm gonna keep walking straight and see what happens. This looks to be the trail that I found just pushing my way through that grass. And it's funny, there was no trail on that grass. Oh, Jesus. Holy crap. Grouse. They scare the bejesus out of you. Like, they're so loud, their wings. I was hearing some barking, like a barking sound. And I think that sound coyotes make not too far away, which normally I don't really care much about, but when I was on my way up here last year, I ran into 3 coyotes on the access road, really close to the access, and they were curious. They just wanted everything to do with me. They followed me. Every time I stopped my truck, they would come to the truck. If I tried to get out, they would come close to the truck. And I actually got a bit of a video on my phone. Not very good quality, but maybe I'll show it. And yeah, really weird. Like, good looking coyotes, but they were really interested in me. So more boulder gardens as far as the eye can see. Serious ankle breaking portage. There's some more wolf scat. I suppose it could be coyote, I'm not quite sure. Looks like I've come to the end of most of the trail. There's a big pond here. I'm hoping I can just throw my canoe in here. I hope it's deep enough. I'm definitely not getting over this part. Well, that's as far as we can go, and all I need to do is get out here, carry through this stuff, and there's white bear. And actually, I don't know if you can see it without the zoom, but it looks like a primo potential campsite across the lake there. Huge rock slab. It's a little bit sloping, but I'm going to check it out. Well, little white bear. Pretty small lake. Oh, if only that was a fish and not a snag. This is definitely a campsite. Big old fire pit. How did someone get plywood back in here? Wow. That's interesting. I'm honestly not going to find a better campsite than this. It's really nice up as well. It's all open up here. Actually similar to last night's campsite, which I really liked. Like plenty of open space and big trees to hang a hammock from up here. So I like it. Here's my patch. And that rip, which was, like I said, about 1.5 inches, all I did, I had this on the ground, just like this, just pine needles and stuff, and it was blown up, and I just lifted it up, and I guess because of it was so firm from the air, it must have caught something sharp. It just sliced right through it. So yeah, we're definitely holding air, as you can see. And that's how I wrecked it. See what I mean? Now I gotta be paranoid for the rest of my life. These are really slippery too. See if it'll hold up. Yep, so far so good. I was so grimy from crashing through the bush so much today. I haven't showered in many a days. Don't tell my wife. Well, all camp chores are done. and I'm just gonna head out for a quick little pre-dark fish. I don't have much time. Probably only have 40 minutes, but I'd try my luck anyway. Something absolutely slammed it. It just bent my rod backwards. And I fumbled with the rod trying to get it out of the rod holder. It's so hard. I think it's harder with a fly rod too, to set the hook on a troll. And with my luck, I'm not going to get another one. That's usually how it's been. Alright, well, all there's left to do tonight is make some chili burritos. And then I'm going to get in the hammock and call it a night early. So we'll see you in the morning. Good night. It is day 12 and I'm making my way out today. I have a pretty good amount of travel to get out of here. And it's been raining all night and it's still raining. And it's supposed to rain all day. I'm running out of battery on my cameras, so there won't be much filming today. So yeah, I'm going to continue getting camp all torn down, and we'll check back in a little bit later. I scouted the portage last night when I went for a paddle. It's just across the lake here, so literally a 5-minute at most paddle. Just at the portage to Cub Bear now, straight ahead. I just heard some really big sticks cracking right there, right next to the portage as I paddled past it. Not sure if it was a moose or a bear. Pretty sure this canoe doesn't get much use. Little blue friend. Like you've seen your last days. Nice little lake. Some nice hills in the background. Almost enveloped in a cloud right now. And it's just almost even stopping to spit, so maybe get a little fish in before I continue on that 1200. The rain decided to stop when I got off the water. Everything was working against me there. My boat was half filled with water. I really tried to fish this lake. There was a brookie tailing, and I even had one take, but I missed it. Wind kept blowing me into shore, and I'm pressing my luck. I really need to get going. Well, this portage is like a dream. This might be the best portage I've had on this route yet. We're just taking a quick break on the portage before I bring the last load, my canoe and the food barrel, over to Big Horseshoe. And you know, I was thinking that the last couple days I've been noticing a little bit more surface activity with fish rising in the evenings. I saw some tailing today on the surface, and it makes sense because we've had some cooler weather the last, I'd say 4 days, 3 or 4 days. And before that we had a huge heat wave. I so badly wanted to just stay on Cub Bear there, or Little White Bear, and fish, but I literally have to get home today. But yeah, isn't it my luck that just as I'm leaving, the weather's cooling down and it's just about to hit prime fall trout fishing. Is the water ever aqua blue here? I don't remember it being this blue. Wow. Big Horseshoe. Super pretty. I'm just passing through another cluster. You can see it up ahead and we just hit pretty hard. And I'm just coming up on the portage from Big Horseshoe into Duval. Okay, I'm running on fumes here on the GoPro, but this is a little creek that is in between the small portage at either end from Big Horseshoe to Duval. So just going to paddle that and I'll be on my access lake. I'm at the end of the creek here going into Duval, and there's a stashed boat at this little creek that's like half a foot deep in pure muck. I can only imagine it's to get over to Big Horseshoe and then they leave it at the other side and then bring it back when they're done. But this blows my mind. There's two more with someone's running shoes here. And look at this. So 6 including the other 3. That's 9 boats. I've never seen anything like it. Made it. Sure is nice at this end of the lake. Just need to portage my gear back to the truck, and that's the end of the trip. Thanks for coming along. See you next time.